Thank you, Jagdish Mahaprabhu, Vishnu Priya Mataji, for kindly hosting me at your place. Very grateful. And thank you all of you wonderful devotees for kindly being present here. Thank you Sundaran Prabhu for doing the recording of every session. So dear devotees, let's give all of these wonderful devotees a big round of applause. So this is the final part of the heart of Sadhana Bhakti, and we have already understood what is the heart of Sadhana Bhakti. What is it, dear devotees? Smaran, the essential oil of all the limbs of Bhakti, dear devotees, is Sri Krishna Smaran. Before I begin, I'd like to offer Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya-Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Parshad Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare. Welcome once again, dear devotees. I am very happy to be here for the final part of the series on the heart of Sadhana Bhakti. We will begin with a quote by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada speaks something in the 19th chapter of his teachings of Queen Kunti. What Srila Prabhupada says is given in the 19th chapter. Prabhu, kindly read Sundaran Prabhu loudly and slowly what Srila Prabhupada says in the 19th chapter of teachings of Queen Kunti.
When there is hearing, there must also be speaking or chanting. So we speak and chant about Krishna, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. And as soon as one becomes expert in hearing and chanting, the next stage is Maranam, thinking or meditation.
Wonderful. So, dear devotees, for all of us, spiritual life begins with the first stage, and Prabhupada says when there is hearing. So the first stage, dear devotees, is what? Hearing. And when there is hearing, there must also be speaking or chanting. When we have heard about Krishna, there is also the tendency of speaking about Krishna to others. So after Shravanam, there is Kirtanam. Now Kirtan doesn't simply refer to Naam Kirtan or singing Naam. Kirtan also refers to singing Rupa, Guna, Leela of Bhagavan. So any act of speaking about Bhagavan also is classified under what? Kirtan. This Kirtan is the next stage. And as soon as one becomes expert in hearing and chanting, Srila Prabhupada says the next stage is Smaranam or thinking or meditation on Shri Krishna. So Smaranam is the final goal of this entire process, because as I said that the devotee especially wants to remember Krishna 24 hours a day ideally. But in the worst case, at least how many times a day they do it? Once a day. At least once a day. If we are doing at least once a day, then we are doing satatam. Satatam means constantly. So constantly we are doing, if we are doing at least once a day. This we have seen yesterday in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That in the term smartavya satatam, satatam means prati aham, at least once every day. He says natu pratikshanam, doesn't mean literally mean every second. Tasya asadhyatvena, it is impossible for a practicing devotee to achieve this level of expertise. Now, dear devotees, once again I want to reinforce the Siddhanta that we have learnt, and the Siddhanta is once again in front of us. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियै सेवोन्मुखे जिह्वादौ स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्यदः अतः therefore the Siddhanta is this. Shri Krishna Nam Adi, the names, forms, etc. of Shri Krishna, na bhavet grahyam, it cannot be grasped by what, dear devotees? Indriyai. What is Indriya? The mundane material senses. The senses that we have are mundane and material senses. And these mundane and material senses are incapable of grasping the name of Krishna, the form of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna. The material tongue cannot grasp the name of Krishna, and the material mind cannot grasp the form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna. Essentially, when we are chanting Krishna's name through our tongue, at the root of it, we are chanting a material syllable. But that material syllable becomes spiritual when there is one particular tendency present. And what particular tendency is present? Seva unmukhe. Seva unmukhe. As soon as there is unmukta, as soon as there is the inclination to render service, swayam eva spurati, automatically the name descends on the syllables, the form descends on the image of the mind, and becoming non-different from it, then we are able to render genuine bhakti. Vamsi Vadan, are more devotees expected, or are these all? This is all? Okay. So if there are more devotees expected, maybe devotees can move little ahead so that there will be space behind. Okay. So here is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The names, forms, etc. of Sri Krishna cannot be grasped by the ordinary senses. It is only when these senses, such as tongue, etc., become inclined to genuine service, that these names, forms, etc. of Sri Krishna manifest spontaneously on the ordinary senses.
Yeah. So this, dear devotees, is why it is very important to have the mood of seva. And in all acts of bhakti, the mood of seva is the most important mood. When this mood is absent, then we cannot render genuine devotional service. It then turns into a purely material affair or a semblance of devotional service. Bhakti abhas, or at worst it turns into sukriti. It doesn't remain an act of genuine devotional service, because the main mood is absent. And which mood is absent? Seva. The mood of rendering seva is absent in such cases. Now, dear devotees, Smaran is so powerful, and yesterday I was speaking about that there are devotees who are divided on whether Kirtan is more potent or Smaran is more potent. And there are arguments given in favor of Kirtan. What argument is given in favor of Kirtan? Harer Naam eva kevalam. And what argument is given in favor of Smaran? Smartavya satatam vishnur vismartavyo na jatuji. Sri Jiva Goswami gives arguments from the side of Kirtan also, and then he also gives arguments on the side of Smaran. He says Smaran can be performed in all stages of the human form of life. And then Srila Jiva Goswami says it can be performed even in stages when we cannot perform other functions. So first and foremost, Sri Jiva Goswami says, please repeat. Garbhe.
Garbhe.
Garbhe means in which stage of life? In the womb. So dear devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned that when the pious living entity is in the womb of the mother, the pious living entity remembers somebody. Whom does he remember? Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So in the womb, there is one limb of bhakti that is possible. Which limb is possible, dear devotees? Smarana. When other limbs of bhakti such as Archanam are not possible, at that particular point of time, one particular limb is possible, and that is Smaranam. Another classic example of this is Prahlad Maharaj, who performed Smaran of Bhagavan right within the womb. So this is example of Garbhe. Second, dear devotees, please repeat. Balye.
Balye.
Balye is in childhood also. Smaran of Bhagavan is possible. Classic example of this is Maharaj Dhruva. Dhruva performed Smaran of Bhagavan in Balya. Balya is what? 0 to 5 is known as what? Balya. So Balya is 0 to 5. In this age, our Dhruv Maharaj also performed Smaran of Bhagavan. Third, dear devotees, please repeat. Yauvane.
Yauvane.
In youth, definitely it is possible. Example of this is Maharaj Ambarish. Many of us who have taken to Krishna Bhakti in our youth, we can also perform Smaran of Bhagavan. So in youth, it is definitely possible, just as Maharaj Ambarish did it. Okay. Finally, dear devotees, please repeat. Vardhakya.
Vardhakya.
Vardhakya means in old age also it is possible to remember Bhagavan. Classic example of this is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, who did not remember Bhagavan for most of his life. Even when Bhagavan was in front of him, he disregarded Bhagavan. Finally, all of his 100 sons were killed by one person. Who killed all of his 100 sons? Bhim killed all of his 100 sons. And after Bhim killed his 100 sons, he was still not willing to let go of his kingdom and his palace. Therefore, Vyasdev had given him a very befitting name, Dhrita Rashtra. Dhritam Rashtram Yena. One who has held firmly to his kingdom is known as what? Dhrita Rashtra. Very good name he was given by Sri Vyasadev. And finally, when Bhim started insulting him day in and day out, then Vidur came and insulted Dhritarashtra by saying, you are like a dog surviving on the bread thrown by the killer of your sons, Bhim. If you have any shame remaining, leave immediately. At that point of time, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari left for the forest. In the forest, they meditated on Bhagavan, and thus they were able to perform Smaran even in old age, dear devotees. Next, dear devotees, is, please repeat, Marane.
Marane.
In death. What is the classic example of remembering Bhagavan in death? Ajamil. Ajamil, dear devotees. Ajamil, the term Ajamil has two meanings. Bhagavan is known as Aja. Aja means unborn. There is one name of Bhagavan. Aja is one name of Bhagavan. And Aja plus Amil, जो भगवान से नहीं मिला. I hope you are able to understand what is Aja plus Amil, together known as Ajamil. I hope you are able to understand. So this is one meaning of Ajamil. One who never met Bhagavan or never was inclined towards Bhagavan in his entire life. He is known as whom? Ajamil. Another meaning of Ajamil is Maya. In the Upanishads, Maya, Mahamaya is known as Aja. Ajamekam lohitak shukla krishnam. It is said in the Upanishads. It is unborn material energy. So Aja plus Mil, one who embraced Maya, is known as what? Ajamil. Very good. Two meanings of the name Ajamil. Aja, Amil, and Aja, Mil. So these two meanings of the term Ajamil. Marane, at the time of death, somebody was able to remember Sri Krishna, and that was whom? Ajamil. Okay. Then next, dear devotees, there is nothing after death. Okay. Please repeat. Swargitayam. Swargitayam. Even after death. Dear devotees, where life insurance stops, Smaran still continues. This is Swargitayam. So, classic example of this is Maharaj Chitraketu. Chitraketu, he had a personal darshan of Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, but still there were some material desires remaining in his heart. And Bhagavan recognized that he had some material desires still remaining in his heart. So Bhagavan promoted him to the heavenly planet Svargaloka, where in Svargaloka on an airplane, along with Gandharva ladies around him, putting his arms around Gandharva ladies, he was singing songs. But whose songs was he singing, dear devotees? Shri Krishna's Kirtan he was singing. Why heavenly planets? So the moral rules of earthly planets are not exactly applicable there. So there also he was remembering Chitraketu Maharaj is an example of remembering Sri Krishna even in the heavenly planets. And finally, dear devotees, please repeat. Narakitayamapi.
Narakitayapi.
Also in which planets, dear devotees? Hellish planets. It is possible to remember Sri Krishna. There are many examples in Shastra. There is one incident where Janak Maharaj visits the hellish planets. And simply by Janak Maharaj stepping into the hellish planets, the residents of hell start feeling little, cooling breeze. So they request Janak Maharaj to please stay with them. So Janak Maharaj says, don't worry, just sing and remember Bhagwan Sri Krishna. And as soon as he impels them to sing and remember Bhagwan, then immediately they are gradually delivered from the hellish planets. So it is possible to remember Bhagwan Sri Krishna in all stages of life while we are living after death. This is what Sri Jiva Goswami has said in Bhakti Sandarbha. That is Anuched 115 of the Bhakti Sandarbha. So please tell me which limb of Bhakti is the supreme limb?
Smarana.
You always we change sides, huh? Dear devotees, Smaran and Kirtan are actually not different from each other. In one way, Smaran and Kirtan are two sides of the same coin. Smaran should give impetus to what? Kirtan. Kirtan gives impetus to what? Smaran. So, we are not here to glorify one limb at the expense of another limb. Bhakti is a Devi. Bhakti is a Devi, she is energy of Bhagwan. And in many ways, Bhakti Devi acts as a mother for the devotees by giving them happiness of the path or process of Bhakti. So in one's own mother's body, we don't say that the hair are more beautiful than the face, or the face is more beautiful than the hair. These are various limbs of whose body, dear devotees? Bhakti Devi. So this is why, dear devotees, we treat all the limbs almost equally, but we may have preference. That my own preference is one particular limb. And Sri Rupa Goswami has allowed that freedom in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. He has said, yesterday we spoke, Swa Vasana Anusarena. Perform Bhakti, limbs of Bhakti according to Swa Vasana. Swa Vasana is your devotional inclinations from previous lives are known as Swa Vasana. Performing Bhakti according to Swa Vasana is the best way of rendering devotional service. So this is what can be said in this regard. Dear devotees, Smaran gradually progresses. Yesterday we did one small sample of Smaran. One small sample is we did the early morning Smaran, and that early morning Smaran is you wake up early in the morning and first thing you do is before even brushing your teeth, what is to be done, dear devotees? Krishna, 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 Krishna Kirtan, dear devotees. And after performing Krishna, Krishna Kirtan, immediately next thing is to perform Smaran. And we saw also from the quote of Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada emphasized the exact same thing. And Prabhupada called it Pratah Smriti. And that was the technical term that Srila Prabhupada used in his purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita as to what a devotee should do in the very beginning of their day. Even before brushing their teeth, one should first chant Kirtan. Chanting Kirtan will give initial purification. And then one can perform Smaran. That Smaran can be of any verses of one's choice from Bhagavatam, etc. Dear devotees, gradually Smaran begins progressing. And Sri Jiva Goswami says that Smaran progresses in 5 stages. How many stages, dear devotees? 5. We will quickly go through these 5 stages and then we will get into actual Smaran, actual examples of Smaran. Okay? So, the first stage, dear devotees, is known as simply Smaranam. What is it known as? Smaranam. I have highlighted it here. Please repeat after me. Yat kinchir anusandhanam smaranam yat kinchid anusandhanam smaranam. Sri Jiva Goswami says, you are sitting somewhere, somehow or other, any basic connection of the mind to Bhagwan, anything you can remember casually, even if it breaks very immediately, doesn't sustain for a long time. Yat kinchid, in Hindi में जो कुछ भी anusandhanam, any connection of mind to Bhagwan's name, form, qualities, pastimes. Congratulations, you have performed level 1. What is level 1 known as, dear devotees? It is highlighted in red. What is it known as? Smarana. Alright, every level is highlighted in red color. So level 1 is known as what? Smarana. Alright, then level 2, dear devotees, then when one gets natural taste for this Smaran, not by force. Just as Japa, Kirtan, etc. are ideally not done by force, similarly Smaran also is ideally not done by force. So gradually when one gets taste, I always give this example. When a child is switched from mother's milk to cow milk, you don't force the child to take cow milk. Otherwise many children then say, I don't want to drink milk. So what do? Give 1 teaspoon of cow milk initially, and then give 2 teaspoons initially, and then mix some nice milk powder, and give it to the child. Gradually the child will develop taste for more and more. One day child will himself ask that I want half a liter of cow milk. So that is very good style of progression. And therefore it is very important that at least in Smaran, progression should happen naturally and organically. So if we are on level 1, then we can gradually progress to which level? Level 2. And level 2, dear devotees, is highlighted in red. What is the name of level 2, dear devotees? Dharana. Please repeat after me. Sarvata Chittam Akrishya Samanya Karena Manodharanam Dharana Sarvatas Chittam Akrishya. From all directions now you pull your consciousness and focus it. So little effort starts now. Previous stage was casual. Now you pull your consciousness from all directions and focus it samanya karena, in a general way, on Bhagavan. In a general way, general name, form, qualities, pastimes of Bhagavan, you have attained stage 2. You do it for some time. You have attained stage 2. What is the name of stage 2? Dharana. You are practicing the devotees. And this practice is very important. Why? Because in the healthy condition of life, we will see that there are so many distractions that to come to the stage of dharana itself is a little difficult. And then what to speak of at the moment of death? The moment of death, the conditions are not the same as the conditions in the healthy form of life. Therefore, it is very important to practice dharana, dhyan, especially when we are in a healthy condition of life. This is the difference between a sincere sadhaka and a casual sadhaka. A casual sadhaka leaves it up to all other forms of mercy besides taking the effort themselves. But a sincere sadhaka does some practice, does some sadhan bhakti. Therefore, this is sadhan bhakti when it comes to smaran. Okay. After dharana, dear devotees, then we will start having preferences. Preferences means amongst all forms of Shri Krishna, I like one particular form. For example, Shri Radha Golokananda. Here, okay? Gokulanand. So Radha Gokulanand, I like this particular form. Or amongst all names of Krishna, I like the name Vanamali. Amongst all pastimes of Krishna, I like the pastime of Bhagavan going to Talwan. I hope you are able to understand. Now you have preferences. When you start having preferences, this is very nice. Sometimes some individuals may say, no, you should give equal respect to all pastimes. No, we are not impersonalists. We are having preferences in life. So dear devotees, we have preferences for some name, some form, some qualities, some pastimes. And every person's preferences may be different. So when that starts happening, you have reached the third stage. Please repeat after me. Visheshato Rupadi Vichintanam Dhyanam Visheshato, specifically now. Rup Adi Vichintanam. You meditate on a specific form, specific quality, specific pastime. Now you have achieved the third stage. What is the third stage called? Dhyan. Dear devotees, this is now active. Remembrance is going on. And yesterday we heard Sri Rupa Goswami also gave 2 limbs of Smaran. Anybody remembers what were the 2 limbs?
Smriti and
Dhyan. So Smriti was limb number 1 and Dhyan is what? Limb number 3 here. Okay, Smriti and Dhyan. Yeah. So now you have actually progressed from Smaran, casual Smaran, to dedicated Dhyan. This level a devotee should attain. Dear devotees, please understand, this level a devotee should attain. The name of the society is after Dhyan. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So the name of the society is after Dhyan. And then gradually Dhyan becomes so ripened. Naturally we start doing it gradually. If we continue to perform the process without offenses, we will reach the fourth stage. The name of the fourth stage is given as what, dear devotees? Dhruva, Anu, Smriti. Dhruva, fixed. Anu, repeated. Smriti, remembrance. Fixed, repeated, remembrance is called as what? Dhruva, Anu, Smriti. Dhruva, Anu, Smriti. So please repeat after me. Amrita, Dharavat, Avichinnam, Tadhruvanu Smriti. Amrita Dharavat, like a stream of nectar. So how many have seen a stream of nectar? Nobody went to heavenly planets, so nobody saw, huh? Okay, ठीक है. Like a stream of honey. How many have seen a stream of honey? What is the quality of a stream of honey? Thick, viscous and continuous, unbroken. I hope you are able to understand. This is the quality of a stream of honey. So, Amrita Dharavat. Avichinnam. Avichinnam means unbroken. Unbroken like the stream of nectar, or for us earthly people, unbroken like a stream of what? Thick honey. Tad Dhruvanu Smriti. When that remembrance starts going unhampered, and there is no more material disturbance, then we have reached the fourth stage. What is this fourth stage? Dhruva, Anu, Smriti. Now you are on the easy path. Uphill journey is over. Now you have to walk straight. Okay? So now you don't have to do anything more. You have to just walk straight. It will automatically happen. Finally, it will lead to the fifth stage, and the fifth stage is named Samadhi. What is it called? Samadhi. Please repeat. Dhyayamatra Spuranam Samadhiriti. Dhyayamatra Spuranam, when only the object of meditation remains in the mind. Shri Krishna and his associates. When only that remain in the mind, nothing else remains in the mind. There is no material impression remaining in the mind. That time you have achieved the final stage. And what is the final stage, dear devotees? Samadhi. One's body should be quit in which stage? Smaranam or Samadhi?
Samadhi.
And what is the praman? Because to speak nothing without giving a praman. So we need a praman. What is the praman for saying that we should quit our body on the stage of Samadhi for perfection? Okay, so Smaran is mentioned. So it should be level 1. Anta kalecha mam eva. What is the meaning of eva? Only, exclusively me. And exclusive remembrance of Krishna without remembrance of any other material entity is on which level, dear devotees? Samadhi. So this Samadhi is the level on which a devotee is supposed to quit their body. So क्या होगा? In the moment of death, I am remembering Krishna somehow, and I am also remembering my shiny Tesla car. I have to come back for the shiny Tesla car. So it should not happen, dear devotees. It should be on which level? Samadhi. So that is it. So dear devotees, now enough of theory. Okay? Now we should dive into some actual remembrances of Bhagavan. Many times it is said, always remember Krishna, always remember Krishna, remember Krishna, remember Krishna. How to remember Krishna? So dear devotees, let's get into some actual remembrances of Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam specifies that before we remember Krishna, we should set the background of such remembrance. The background of such remembrance, dear devotees, is made by 3 devotees. 3 devotees make up the entire background of the remembrance of Krishna. Okay, and these 3 devotees are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please sing after me. Vrindavanam Govardhanam Yamuna Pulinani cha Vikshasi Duttama Priti Rama Madhavayor Nripa. These 3 devotees are mentioned. First devotee's name is Vrinda Devi, and her forest is known as which one, dear devotees? Vrindavan. So first devotee is Vrinda Devi. Second is the greatest of devotees. Who is that? Govardhan. And third devotee is mentioned on the second line, Yamuna. These 3 devotees make up the entire landscape of Bhagwan's pleasure. Devotees. Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna. Please tell me, is there anything in Vrajamandal besides these 3? Anything that exists in Vrajamandal besides these 3 devotees? Vrindavan. I am saying landscape. Is there anything in the landscape of Vrajamandal besides these 3?
Barsana.
So dear devotees, why are these three so special? Viksha Asid Uttama Priti. On seeing these three, Bhagwan had Uttama Priti. Bhagwan became very delighted. Not only Bhagwan, Ram Madhava, Krishna and Balram both had great delight on seeing these three. And why is it so, dear devotees? Please hear carefully. These three are the places of pastimes of childhood of Shri Bhagwan. It is the childhood village of Shri Bhagwan. And how many of us remember our childhood village? Raise your hand, dear devotees. How many of us have ridden on bullock cart? Climbed on trees? Swam in rivers? So, do you remember the sweetness of the reminiscence associated with those places? You remember the sweetness associated with those places? Those who have had that reminiscence? So that, dear devotees, is the reminiscence that Bhagwan has with Vrindavan, Govardhan and Yamuna. In whatever places we visit in our childhood, which are dearmost to us in childhood, become very, very special. Childhood is a time when Bhagwan is free of the responsibilities that of his incarnation. That is Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. But here in Vrindavan, Govardhan and Yamuna, none of that is going on. Bhagwan is very happy. Paritranaya sadhunam. This is neither is he going to do that. And once in a while some dushkrit come, but that is not his main task. He is happy, and dharma samsthapan he also doesn't do. In fact, he sometimes acts in such a way that people are confused whether he is doing dharma or adharma. So this is Sri Bhagwan in Vrindavan. Dear devotees, he is not worried about those three goals for which he appeared. So this is Bhagwan free of all the responsibilities, sitting on the banks of the Yamuna. He is enjoying the winds of the Yamuna. In the day, especially in the night, dear devotees, taking a wonderful bath in the Yamuna. He comes out of the Yamuna, his body fully dripping with the waters of the Yamuna, and then ties his hair, sits on the banks of the Yamuna, and then plays his flute in the sweet fifth note. Nothing to bother him, dear devotees. This is Bhagwan in Shri Vrindavan. Aisa. This is his condition in Shri Vrindavan, dear devotees. And Govardhan, Yamuna, these are all giving immense pleasure to Shri Krishna. In Shri Vrindavan, he is able to wear comfort clothing. The most comfortable clothing he wears in which place, dear devotees? Shri Vrindavan. And what is comfort clothing? Comfort clothing is the clothing which we wear when we go back home after going to office. Dear devotees, that is which clothing? Comfort clothing. Clothing in which nobody, in which we are most comfortable. And Bhagwan used to pull up his dhoti till his knees here. Very comfortably he would sit on the banks of the Yamuna, playing on the flute. And this flute he cannot carry to Mathura or Dwarka, dear devotees. His most favorite activity he would perform only in one place. Which place, dear devotees? And the second place, dear devotees? Govardhan. And the third place? Yamuna. These three places he would perform. These are his sweetest places of pastime. Bhagwan has very sweet memories on them. Please read the translation.
O King Parikshit, when Balarama and Krishna saw Vrindavana, Govardhana, and the banks of the river Yamuna, they both enjoyed great pleasure.
Dear devotees, especially Bhagwan enjoyed great pleasure when he was growing up. When Bhagwan grew up, dear devotees, Bhagwan especially got attracted to the gopis of Sri Vraja. After being attracted to gopis of Sri Vraja, he enacted what is the central pastime of all the pastimes in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. This pastime is the pastime of Ras. What is the meaning of Ras? Ras typically means it is a type of dance in which there is a circle is formed. In that circle, dear devotees, Bhagavan Shri Krishna made his Prakash Vigraha. Prakash Vigraha is not expansion, a replica form for each and every gopi, and Bhagavan danced with them in this particular pastime and enjoyed various pastimes of love with all the gopis. There are 4 types of rasa which happen in Braja, and these are specified by the previous acharyas in their literature. I am giving the names of these 4 types. Please repeat after me, dear devotees. Nitya Rasa Leela.
Nitya Rasa Leela.
Nitya Rasa Leela is that which goes on eternally every night, dear devotees, in the spiritual world and also in the hidden way, in the Bhauma Vrindavan, in the material world. So this is known as which Ras Leela?
Nitya
Nitya Ras. This cannot be seen by the eyes of ordinary conditioned souls. It happens in Aprakat Leela. Which Leela devotees? Aprakat Leela. So this is called as Nitya Ras Leela. Even today it goes on, but it cannot be seen by the eyes of ordinary people. So this is called as Nitya Ras. It is in Aprakat Leela. Which Leela devotees? Aprakat. That which is always unmanifest. That is called as Nitya Ras. Devotees, it is mentioned in the Padma Puran. I have given the praman for it. Nityam Rasa Mahotsavam. Second devotees, please repeat. Sharadiya Ras.
Sharadiya Ras.
So Sharadiya Ras is Naimittik Ras Leela, which happened once 5000 years ago on planet Earth. It is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that Ras Leela, which is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in chapter 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 of the 10th canto. This is known as which Ras, dear devotees? Sharadiya. Sharat is the season of fall, autumn. Autumn is known as Sharad Ritu. And Sharadiya, by adding the suffix cha, it becomes iya. Sharadiya Ras, related to Sharad. The Ras related to Sharad is known as which Leela? Sharadiya Ras. So in the autumn season, Bhagwan also executed Ras because the waters are very clear, the moon is very clean, there are almost no clouds in the sky, and then there is the radiance of the full moon. The devotees Bhagwan on Sharad Purnima carried out which Ras Leela, dear devotees? Sharadiya Ras. In this Ras Leela, Krishna disappears from the gopis' vision, and it takes place on which Purnima? Sharad Purnima. Dear devotees, third is known as, please repeat, Aimantika Ras.
Aimantika Ras.
Also known as Kartika Ras.
Kartika Ras.
In the Vaishnav calendar, it is also known as Shri Krishna Rasa Yatra. You will see the Vaishnav calendar. In the Kartik Mas, you will notice there is one festival called as Shri Krishna Rasa Yatra. This happens in Kartik Mas also. There is another Ras Leela which happens on Kartik Mas. So this happened 5000 years ago. Dear devotees, it is mentioned in Shri Krishna Chaitanya Charitamritam of Shri Murari Gupta. He has taken references from the Puranas. So one Ras Leela takes place in the season of Sharad, and one Ras Leela takes place in which Mas? Kartik Mas. And dear devotees, finally the fourth one, please repeat, Vasantika Ras.
Vasantika Ras.
So there is a separate Ras Leela for Shri Baladev, where Shri Baladev especially performs Ras. This is known as which Ras? Shri Vasantika Ras. So this is especially on the day of Holi. Okay, Holi is a day where Shri Baladev especially likes to perform Ras, and especially on this particular day, it is also Shri Krishna also performs separately. But Vasanta is spring season. Which season, dear devotees? Spring season. Spring season, this particular thing takes place. If Shri Krishna also decides to perform Ras separately on this day, then what happens is that on this particular day, Shri Radha gets a little angry and she disappears. Okay, so reverse pastime goes on this day. Shri Radha becomes a little angry and disappears. Shri Krishna searches after her, running in the forest. Usually this is what happens. This is known as which Ras, dear devotees? Vasanti. Four types of Ras mentioned along with the Pramanas from Shastra. I have given here, dear devotees. They are mentioned in various literatures. So these are four types of Ras mentioned in the literature of the previous acharyas. Now, one of these is Nitya Leela. Okay, which one is Nitya, dear devotees? The first one. The remaining three are Naimittik. Naimittik means, what is the meaning of Naimittik? Naimittik means when Nimitta, when the cause arises. The cause is now it is Sharad Ritu. So cause arises. Because of that cause, that effect takes place. So in Sharad Ritu, which Ras takes place? Sharadiya. Alright, in Hemant Ritu, which Ras takes place? Haimantika. And then in Vasant Ritu, which Ras takes place? Vasantika. When the Hetu or Nimitta arises, then the pastime happens. It is called as Naimittik Leela. Which Leela, dear devotees? Naimittik. And when there is no Nimitta, it is going on eternally. It is called as which Leela, dear devotees? Nitya Leela. So this is the difference between Nitya Leela and Naimittik Leela. So one Nitya Ras, which is happening even today. Naimittik Ras, three types which are described in Shastra. Anyways, dear devotees, whatever the case, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, it is described in the Sharadiya Ras. Which Ras, dear devotees? In the Sharadiya Ras, Bhagwan decided to do something. Bhagwan decided to attract the minds of the gopis. It is described in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna did something. Please repeat after me. Shukdev Goswami said, Jagau kalam vam drisham manoharam.
Jagau kalam vam drisham manoharam.
Jagau, he played. Kalam, very soft tune. Our Bhagwan played what? Very soft tune. In the night, full moon night, After bathing in the Yamuna, he came out, tied his peacock feather and his hair still dripping with the waters of the Yamuna. On the banks of the Yamuna, under the full moon, our Ujjwal Nilmani, our brilliant sapphire like Sri Krishna, Jagau Kalam, started playing the flute on the sweet which note, dear devotees? Fifth note. And his purpose was this: Vama Drisham. Vama is beautiful, Drisham is eyed. So beautiful eyed gopis, Manoharam, to forcibly snatch away their minds. This is why he played the flute. Dear devotees, here is the translation. Please read, Prabhu.
Yeah, Krishna played a sweet tune on the flute that attracted the minds of the beautiful eyed gopis.
The English says attracted, but the Sanskrit literally says Manoharam.
Still.
Forcibly snatched away the minds. Dear devotees, Manoharam is forcibly snatched away. Commenting upon this, the devotee commentator Sri Harisuri says there is a wonderful reason why Bhagavan did this at this point of time. Okay, and a wonderful verse, dear devotees, he composes at this point in the meter Arya. I will sing the meter, please sing after me. Mabhudasa manurapi
Mabhudasa manirapi
Mabhudasa manurapi
Mabhudasa manirapi
Adharma samsparsha ityanantatma
Adharma samsparsha ityanantatma
Adharma samsparsha ityanantatma
Adharma samsparsha ityanantatma
Sukrita sukrita nidanam
Sukrita sukrita nidanam
Sukrita sukrita nidanam
Sukrita sukrita nidanam
Mana evadau jahar sadgitya
Mano jahara sadgitya
Mana evadau jahar sadgitya
Mano evadau jahara sadgitya.
Please hear carefully. Sri Krishna was thinking, Ma abhut asam anurapi adharma samsparsha. Let nobody say that today the gopis will commit adharma. I hope you are able to understand that today the gopis will commit adharma. Because why adharma? He is playing the flute. But is he married to the gopis? No, he is not married to the gopis. He is attracting girls who are not married to him. Dear devotees, is it dharma or adharma? Don't speak like brainwashed people. Speak the reality. Is it dharma or adharma? Adharma. Dear devotees, it is adharma. But Bhagavan is thinking, Ma bhud asam anurapi adharma. Let not even a tiny atom of adharma, samsparsha, touch these gopis. Iti anantatma. Therefore the unlimited Lord did something. What did he do? Sukrita asukrita nidanam. Nidanam, the root cause of sukrita and asukrita, of pious and impious activities. What is the root cause of all pious and impious activities in the Bhagavad Gita? It is the mind, O Arjun, which is the root cause of all pious and impious activities. Man evadau jahar. Before the Ras Leela, Bhagavan stole the minds of the gopis. Dear devotees, So all the minds are with whom? Devotees, Bhagavan. So there will be no adharma for the gopis. Let all the allegations of adharma be upon whom? Sri Krishna. Devotees. In this way, Bhagavan first stole their what? Their minds. So that there is no allegation of adharma upon the gopis of Sri Vrindavan. Here is the translation. Please read.
Let there not be the slightest touch of impiety for these gopis. Thinking in this way, the Lord of unlimited living entities used his flute play to steal away the minds, the root cause of all piety and impiety in this world.
So, dear devotees, our Bhagavan started playing the flute in the middle of the night, and our Bhagavan usually when he plays the flute, he closes his eyes. Doesn't look anywhere outside. He closes his eyes. You can see, dear devotees, our Bhagavan. Is he playing with his eyes open or his eyes closed, dear devotees? Eyes closed. So our Bhagavan started playing the flute with his eyes closed in the middle of the night, dear devotees. And when he started playing the flute, the gopis of Sri Vrindavan were attracted to him. They left their homes and came running to see him. And dear devotees, Bhagavan has such a personality, he would not open his eyes although he knows that they are standing right near him. This is his personality. I have always asked this question: how many of us want to fall in love with a God who is very straightforward in nature, who doesn't speak lies, who always walks on the path of dharma? Please raise your hands. Nobody? Okay, one Mataji behind. Okay, Mataji, huh? Ram Navami, whenever it comes up next time, we will submit your application of Ram. How many wish to fall in love with a Bhagwan who is crooked in behavior, always speaks lies, cries falsely, and pretends to be someone he is not, and rarely walks on the path of Dharma? Please raise your hands. Arey wah. How many wish to fall in love with that Bhagwan who made Dharmaraj Yudhishthir speak a lie? Bolo, huh? Huh? Isn't it? Dear devotees, all of you are already brainwashed. So, Bhagwan, he knows they are standing right next to him. He has heard the tune of their ankle bells. He knows that they are waiting. He knows that they are scratching the ground with their toenails. Still he will not open his eyes. Dear devotees, such a person is indeed very crooked in nature. Such a person, every morning, dear devotees, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they go and give a small gali. You know what is gali? Loving abusive words. Ashlishya padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marma hatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu. Are va? Every morning you guys give gali? Bhagwan? Because lampat is gali. Dear devotees, what is the meaning of lampat? You don't know? Are? Nobody knows the meaning of lampat. Nobody knows the meaning of the verse of Shikshashtakam. Wonderful. Thank you so much, prabhuji. Lampato is debauchee, a person of questionable moral character, a libertine, a person who does not adhere to any standards of ordinary morality. Dear devotees, such a person is known as what? Lampato. So, the gopis started noticing that he is not opening his eyes, he is playing the flute. At that point of time, Sri Harishuri speaks on behalf of the gopis. The devotees, the gopis sang a particular verse so that he will stop playing the flute. But they did not address him, they addressed the flute. There's a wonderful verse where the gopis are addressing what? The flute of Sri Bhagwan. Many such verses in Shastra, but one wonderful verse by Sri Harishuri in the meter Shardul Vikriditam. I'll sing the verse, please sing after me. Saudham dhama mukhambujam bhagavato vatrasava prashanam.
Saudham dhama mukhambujam bhagavato vatrasava prashanam.
Shaya chadar vallabodha mridulangushthasthaduchirshakam.
Shaya chadar vallabodha mridulangushthasthaduchirshakam.
Angulyastava sevane niralasa bruma kimanyat sukham.
Angulyastava sevane niralasa bruma kimanyat sukham.
Ha vairini hai tadha bimurali tvam naiti nidravigim.
Ha vairini hai tadha bimurali tvam naiti nidravigim.
The gopis are saying to the flute, dear devotees, Sri Harishuri records in his commentary. Saudham dhama mukhambujam, O flute, you have a wonderful home to stay. We left our home. We have no home to stay now. But you have a wonderful home to stay. What is your home? Saudham dhama, that beautiful nectarian face of Bhagavato. Mukhambujam, the lotus-like face of Bhagwan is your eternal place of residence. Chalo, home is taken care of. Second, Vaktrasava Prashanam. For your food also, some arrangement is made. What arrangement is made? Vaktra, Asava, Prashanam. Eating the lower lip nectar of Shri Krishna. Your food is also taken care of. Achha, after home and food, after you have a good home and after you have good food, what is the next thing to do, Prabhu?
Resting.
Sleep. Shayya. You can see the next, second line. Shayya. For your sleeping. Cha adhara pallavo. You rest your head on the soft lower lip of Sri Krishna. Look at the comfortable bed you got. Chaya chadar pallavo. This is your resting bed for your head. Some individuals are very lucky, they get a pillow to rest their head. Some other individuals are even more lucky because they get a pillow for the feet also. You also got a pillow for the feet. And what are the pillow for the feet? Mridul Angushthas, the soft raised thumbs of Sri Krishna are the pillows for your feet. Taduchir Shakam. Now what other pleasure do you need? Angulyastava sevane niralasa. The fingers are constantly massaging. Anguli is feminine gender, they are constantly massaging. Brumaha kimanyat sukham. What more happiness do you need? Aha Vairini. O enemy, he tathapi murli, O flute, tvam naiti indrapikim. When will you finally go to sleep after all these comforts? This is the reaction of the gopis.
Yeah, O Murali, flute. For your residence, you have lotus-like face of Krishna. For your drinking, you have his lip nectar. His lower lip is your resting bed. His soft thumbs are your raised pillows. Various fingers, ladies, are engaged in pressing your feet. What greater happiness can be there? Alas, O flute, despite all these comforts, why don't you ever go to sleep?
Finally, Bhagwan opened his eyes. After opening his eyes, Bhagwan suddenly noticed, all of you are here? No, it is not proper. So this person is so crooked, he invited them. And then he told them something very good. Rajanyesha Ghora Rupa
Rajanyesha Ghora Rupa
Ghora Sattva Nishevita
Ghora Sattva Nishevita
Priyata Vrajam Neha
Priyata Vrajam Neha
Stheyam Strivi Sumadhyama
Shreyam Srivi Sumadhyama
Rajanyesha Ghora Rupa, the night is very frightening. Ghora Sattva Nishevita, and there are many frightening creatures lurking around. Pratiyata Vrijam, go back to your homes. Nehastheyam, don't stay here. Strivi Sumadhyama, you are not very strong ladies. Physically you are not very strong. Go back, return to your homes. This is what Bhagwan said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please read through.
This night is quite frightening, and frightening creatures are lurking about. Return to Vraja, slender-waisted girls. This is not a proper place for women.
Acha. When he said the same thing to the Brahman Patnis, the wives of the Brahmanas, they quietly accepted and returned. But this time it is not the Brahman Patnis. These are whom? Gopis. They are very bold in nature. Therefore, they are not going to return back so easily. Somebody has to give a response to Sri Krishna on behalf of them. So our dear commentator Sri Suri gives a response on behalf of them by saying that we will not return. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Can we sing together, dear devotees? Let's sing together. Asmato sulabham yadadhipayo pyasita daityanayam bhutpadaya
Mukasake Muhuraho Tarpardana Machaya Sarvasvarpanamadya kalpitamapi Tvam naiva grinasitat Yuktam prithiralabdavastu nipuna Labdhe tvanastodaya.
Acha, go back. Asmato asulabham. You remember Krishna not long ago. Asulabham yada dadhipayo. When in your own home you did not have sufficient milk and yogurt to steal. You remember whose home you used to come to? You remember? It was not long ago. Asmatto asulabham yada dadhipayo. when milk and yogurt were very rare for you to attain at your own home. Tada eti alayam, you used to come to the homes of our parents. Huh? You remember? Bhutva dainya mukham, with a pitiable face. Sakhe, oh friend, muhuraho, tat prarthana machara, with folded hands you used to pray. You remember that time? You used to beg simply for yogurt and milk from us. And we would give. But today, sarvasva arpana madhya, today we are willing to give our entire self to you. Kalpitam api, tvam naiva grihnasi, but you are not accepting us today. Yuktam, Krishna, we understood how the world works. We understood the nature of the world today. Pritir alabdha vastuni, people have love only for objects or people who are rarely attained with great difficulty. Punar labdhe, and if they are attained easily, anastha udayaha, people show great disregard for things that are available very easily. This is the translation. Please read.
Dear friend Krishna, when yogurt, milk, etc. were not easily available to you at your home, you would make a pitiable face and come asking for it at our homes. It seems that those days are long gone. Today, when we wish to offer you our entirety, you are not accepting our offer. Indeed, we realize today that it is the nature of humans to have extreme attachment to objects that are not easily available. Whereas if the same objects become easily available, then one quickly develops disrespect towards them.
This dear devotee is sarcastic comment from the gopis. Are they going to leave or are they not going to leave? The commentator is not happy with one verse. He composes another verse about what the gopi said and another verse, dear devotees. This verse is in the meter Shikharini. So I'll sing same as Jagannath Ashtakam, slightly difficult to sing. Please sing after me. Shirasyadhayai vrajata punarityuktimihate Vrajamasvange hamsvamadi saralananyagadika
Vrajamasvangegam swamati saralananyagadika
Padam de praptanam bhuvina punaravritiridya
Padam te praptanam bhuvina
punaravritiridya
Daya shrutyagveda sadayavada gantavyamadhuna
Daya shrutyagveda sadayavada.
Krishna, you are saying, return back to your samsar. The home is also known as what? Ghar samsar. Huh? Return back to your samsar. Okay, Krishna. Shirasyadhayaiva. We put your order on our head. Huh? What is your order? Brajata punaretyu. Brajata punar. Return back to your samsar. Iti ukti mihate. This is your order. Alright. Vrajamasvangeham. We will go back to our samsar. No problem. Why? Swamati sarala. We are very simple hearted. We believed in you. Now that you are cheating us, no problem. We will take your order and we will return. Ananya gatika. We have no other shelter besides you. Krishna, we will return. But before we return, there is one thing. Padam de praptanam bhuvina punaravritiridya. Whenever the devatas visit Vrindavan, they glorify you. And they say that you are glorified even by the Shrutis who are your wives. The four Vedas are your wives. Now your Shrutis, they are your wives, they had said one thing. And you know what they had said? They had promised one thing. That anybody who once surrenders to you never has to return back to samsara. Anybody who surrenders once to you never has to return back to samsara. yad gatva na nivartante. But Krishna, see, today we surrendered to you. Like nobody else surrendered in history, we surrendered to you. There is no record of anybody surrendering in history in the manner that the gopis surrendered. Because previously when somebody else surrendered, they surrendered with all their name and fame intact. The gopis lost all their name and fame. And at the cost of all worldly reputation, we have surrendered to you. We will not be accepted back in society. Your Shruti said that anybody who surrenders to you never has to return back to samsara. Today we will return back to our samsara. But tell your Shrutis, your wives, Taya Shrutya Kvetah Sadaya Vada Gantavya Maduna. We will return back to our samsara. But tell your Shrutis, today they will not be able to return back to their homes. Alright? Understood? No? Ashri Harishwari is not an easy commentator. We will return back to our homes. But today tell your wives. Who are your wives? Shrutis. They should not return back to their homes. Why? Your devotees, the Shrutis, they reside on one particular planet in this material world, on the highest planet. Which is the highest planet? Brahma Loka is also known as which Loka? Satya Loka, the planet of truth. And today your Shrutis were proven false. So there should be no entry for liars in Satya Loka. We will go today to our homes. Tell your Shrutis, today they will not be able to go to their homes because we surrendered to you and we have to return back to samsara. Your Shrutis are proven false by your own order. Bhagavan, let your Shrutis not return back to their homes. This is the very sarcastic comment of the gopis. Please.
O Lord, you say to us, return back to your samsara homes. We are simple hearted ladies and we respectfully keep this order of yours on our heads. Today we will go back to our samsara homes, for we have no other refuge besides following your orders. Tell us, however, O Lord, your wives, the Shrutis, proudly proclaimed that one who surrenders unto you will never have to return back to samsara, material world, ever again. O Lord, will these Shrutis be able to go back to their homes today?
Yes or no? If we go back to our samsara, your Shrutis will not be able to go back to their samsara. So you make a choice. Either your Shrutis will be proven false today, or we stay with you. So the Bhagavan decided to save his reputation. So dear devotees, the most joyous dance in the entire universe began. And there's a wonderful verse. Did you hear the sound of the dance? No? You want to hear the sound of the dance? Yes. Arre wow, very wonderful. There's a very nice Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, very rare literature called as Amod Mahakavyam by Sri Anup Narayan Bhattacharya. A few years ago, I found one copy of this literature, and the first thing I did is digitize it. It is available on archive today. It's Amod Mahakavyam. It's by Gaudiya Vaishnava Sri Anup Narayan Bhattacharya from the past. There are many rare poetries in Gaudiya Vaishnavism which still need to be preserved. This is perhaps one of them. In that he describes a very wonderful verse, dear devotees, that happened during that time. Please sing after me. The meter is Vidyun Mala. Alright, I'll try to sing. Please sing after me. Abhuvanatraya Manasaranjam
Abhuvanatraya Manasaranjam
Prattamudunnati Nirjita Janjam
Prattamudunnati Nirjita Janjam
Tajagrurharinupurashinjam
Tajagrurharinupurashinjam
Abhuvanatraya. All the three words Manasaranjam, their minds got extremely delighted because now the most delightful pastime had begun. Which pastime, dear devotees? Prattamudunnati. And it was constantly increasing joy of the gopis and everybody. And Bhagavan, gradually Bhagavan's sound and the gopis' sound took over the entire universe, dear devotees. Tajagruhur, everybody heard the sound of Harinupura Shinjam, of the ankle bells of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Did you hear the sound? No? Sing after me once again. Abhuvanatraya Manasaranjam
Abhuvanatrayamanasaranjam
Prattamudunnada Nirjita Janjam
Prattamudunnati nirjita janjam
Tajagrur Harinupurashinjam
Harinupurashinjam.
Still you are not hearing. Dear devotees, please read the translation.
The gopis heard the sound which delights the minds of the three worlds, which gave them great joy, and which gradually took over the tinkling of their ankle bells.
Achha, one last time, maybe after thrice we will hear. Abhuvanatraya Manasaranjam
Abhuvanatrayamanasaranjam
Prattamudunnati Nirjita Janjam
Prattamudunnati nirjita janjam
Tajagrur Harinupurashinjam
Tajagrur Harinupurashinjam
Jum 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 jum
Jum jum jum jum jum jum jum.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
Please read that.
This was the sound of Hari's ankle bells. Jum juma jum juma jum jum.
Wow, 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 Kavi. Can we sing together, dear devotees? Let's sing together. Abhuvanatraya Manasaranjam
Prattamudunnati nirjita janjam Tajagrur Harinupurashinjam Jum juma jum juma jum juma jum jum.
So, if you are experiencing little standing of hair on the end, little wow, I hope you are able to understand. This is in Shastra, it is called as Ascharya Ras. Which ras is it called, devotees? Ascharya Ras. If you were touched by Ascharya Ras, if you felt a little wow, you should know that this is Ascharya Ras. In Shastra, it is said Raso Vai Saha. Krishna himself is Rasa. So, if you are touched by a little wow, how many of you were touched by little wow? Please raise your hands. Know that you were touched by a very tiny fragment of rasa, and that rasa is not different from whom? Shri Krishna. Devotees, it is said that whenever katha of Bhagwan is spoken, Bhagwan is personally present. Sometimes. But in which row is he sitting? He is not sitting in any particular row. He is present in the form of one substance. In the form of which substance is Bhagwan present? Rasa. And whenever you are touched by various rasas, you should know that you were touched by a small particle of Bhagwan. This rasa is the only non-material object in the material world. The Jivatma, Bhagwan and rasa, these are non-material objects in the material world. We were touched by rasa, dear devotees, but a very small fragment of rasa. Gradually, when ras charvana, when this expertise of churning rasa will increase, then it will become more and more constant. So, this is what it is. Anyways, Sri Harishwari is so happy that now finally the Utsav has begun. Which Utsav has begun? Rasa. Sri Harishwari says everything was liberated. Dear devotees, please sing after me. Kesha Mukta Guno Mukto
Kesha Mukta Guno Mukto
Adbhutam Suratotsave
Adbhutam Suratotsave
Chitram Mukta Punar Mukta
Chitram Mukta Punar Mukta
Mukta Sumanaso Picha
Mukta Sumanaso Picha.
Kesha Mukta, dear devotees, the Kesha got liberated. What is Kesha, dear devotees? The hair got liberated in the dancing. Kesha Mukta. Acha. Guno Mukto. Guna is the strings of the clothes. Were all liberated. Kesha Mukta. Guno Mukto. Na Adbhutam. Nothing surprising about it. Suratotsave. It's a festival of love. Chitram. What surprises me? Mukta Punar Mukta. Mukta is known as Moti. Because they are very tightly strung. Motis are very tightly. Mukta Punar Mukta. Even the Mukta, even the pearls got liberated. Mukta Sumanaso. Suman, you know what is Suman? Flower is also called as what? Suman. Mukta Sumanaso Picha. Even the tightly strung flowers also got what? Liberated. Wonderful verse, dear devotees. He is not an easy commentator, dear devotees. He is Sri Harishwari. He was personally blessed by Bhagwan. I'll give you all the intelligence. You will write a commentary par excellence. Let's sing the verse again, dear devotees. केशामुक्ता गुणो मुक्तो
केशामुक्ता गुणो मुक्तो
नाद्भुतं सुरतोत्सवे
अद्भुतं सुरतोत्सवे
चित्रं मुक्ता पुनर्मुक्ता
चित्रं मुक्ता पुनर्मुक्ता
मुक्ता सुमनसोऽपि च
मुक्ता सुमनसोऽपि च
केशा मुक्ता. Dear devotees, please repeat. Ka Isha.
Isha.
Ka refers to Brahma. Ka refers to whom?
Brahma.
Isha refers to Shiva. Kesha Mukta, Ka and Isha, Kesha. Brahma and Shiva were also liberated by looking at the pastime. Guno Mukto, even the three modes of material nature felt liberated on looking at the pastime. Nothing surprising about it. Na Adbhutam, Suratotsave. Chitram, what surprises me? Mukta, Punar Mukta, those impersonalists who were thinking themselves to be liberated, they also got actual liberation on hearing this pastime. And Mukta, Sumana, Sumana, those who have beautiful minds, those devotees also got liberated on hearing those pastimes. Great devotees. This is the great poetic genius of the commentator. Okay, so this, dear devotees, is the entire pastime. Did you feel that wow?
Yes.
So dear devotees, if you felt the wow, you should know that you were touched by one rasa. Which rasa is that? Ashcharya. Ashcharya ras is one of the 12 rasas mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And this rasa is non-different from whom, dear devotees? Shri Krishna. Now if I read the same thing again, you will not get the wow. That crooked person. I hope in one reading, he will only come once. Aisa hai. So you have to again search for him. He disappears. He disappears after single appearance. This is his nature. If I once again go back and show you the same verse, you will perhaps not say wow, because now you know the secret. So dear devotees, this is Shri Krishna. You had it once, you can't have it again. It's not a material thing. I hope you are able to understand. This is rasa. The principle of rasa is a non-material principle even in the material world. Anyways, dear devotees, in this way, Shri Krishna carried out so many pastimes with the gopis of Shri Vrindavan, and so much smaran. Dear devotees, we had so much smaran today. So happily we relished all these verses today, dear devotees. Certainly we should thank that one personality, Shri Rupa Goswami, who bought us all of these things. And if we felt any happiness, that happiness was not for our own sake. It was seva, dear devotees. And seva means we have to offer all the happiness to one person. To whom should we offer all the happiness? To
Chaitanya
Mahaprabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please hear all the verses and let this happiness be dedicated to you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today I will not get into the verses of sadness, because I don't want to leave on a sad note. I want to leave on which note? Happy note. I have many verses of sadness, but I don't want to show verses of sadness. I want to end on time so that there is some time for Q&A. And dear devotees, I will do one last verse which glorifies Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. This verse, dear devotees, is a self-composed verse. This is a newly composed verse in Sanskrit, dear devotees. I will try to sing. The meter is Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Okay, please sing after me. Pakve harsha nirupane di chatura papani karshatya sau.
Pakve harsha nirupane chatura papani karshatya so.
Martyarishta kupankti matti chamur na pati modam sada.
Martyarishta kupanti matti chamur napati modam sada.
Bhaktya pasha nikrindam rajayadi Shritulya shamsanjasa.
Bhaktya pasha nikrintanam rachayati Shritulya samsanjasa.
Sa Shri Rupa Kripa Madhya Bhajane Saukhyam Dadat Vojasa.
Sa Shri Rupa Kripa Madhya Bhajane Saukyam Dadato Dasa.
This verse glorifies Shri Rupa Kripa, the lady known as the mercy of one personality. Which personality? Shri Rupa Goswami. So the mercy of Shri Rupa Goswami is glorified in this particular verse. Kindly read out the translation.
She is extremely adept in bringing out fully ripened manifestations of happiness. She forcibly snatches away all sins. She repeatedly divorced the inauspicious series of misfortunes for mortals. She always protects our joy. Through devotion, she quickly causes destruction of material bondage. She is as glorious as Sri Radha herself. May that wonderful lady named Sri Rupa Krupa, the Messie of Sri Rupa Goswami, vigorously bestow pleasure in all my acts of devotional service.
This is the prayer to Sri Rupa Goswami. Alright? So, I will pause my. Should I pause here?
No.
Acha, devotees will do one thing. Here is the verse again, we'll plot it on a wheel, devotees. Alright? This is the first line. Let's plot it from top left to bottom right. Okay? Sing along with me as we are plotting. Sorry, from bottom left to top right. We are going in this. This is how the first line will be plotted. Please sing after me. Pakve harsha nirupane chatura papani karshapya sau. Second line, devotees will plot from top left to bottom right. Madhyavishtakupamti madhi chamur napati modam sada. Third line, we will plot from top to bottom. Bhaktya pashaniprintam rachayati Shri Tulyasham sanjasa. We ended with Sa here. Then we will go clockwise around the wheel from here. Sa Shri Rupa Kripa Madhya Bhajane Saukhyam Dadatvo. This, dear devotees, is offered to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada.
Your name is also
Yes, it is there.
second.
There is also a hidden signature, which is a personal prayer, that there are some that Sri Rupa Goswami's mercy. I have some selfishness in this regard. So there is some special prayer, but it is hidden deep inside the wheel. So dear devotees, I will pause my speech here. Thank you very much. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skalitam kinchit. If there is anything wrong in what I said, vidvam saha, you are learned devotees. Purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. In like Bhagwan, what he did is, he took the dirt and he put it in his stomach. Now in Marathi there is something, potat ghala. Huh? What is the meaning of potat ghala? Anybody knows? So digest it. I hope you are able to. So Bhagwan took all the sins of the living entity and potat ghala, digest it. I hope you are. So similarly, dear devotees, if there is any mistake, you take it, digest it. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit. But if there is anything nice, tad guru reva. It belongs to my Gurujanas, me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you so much once again, Vamshivadan Prabhu, Vrinda Mataji. Thank you so much for kindly opening the doors of your home. And thank you so much, Jagdish Mahaprabhu Prabhu and Vishnu Priya Mataji, for kindly hosting myself at your home. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna. So, time for question and answers. Anybody wants to ask? Yes, Prabhuji.
I'm trying to connect today's class with yesterday and the day before, in the sense that Smaran versus imagination, there should be mood of service. So when we did Smaran right now, my ignorant mind is thinking, where's the mood of service in that? I got pleasure out of it, thinking of Krishna and meditating on Krishna. But there was no thought of how am I serving Krishna in that.
Yeah, sure. So when we performed Smaran, now you got a lot of pleasure. Wonderful. When you felt Ascharya, wow. That wow was a small fragment. It's a very small fragment, abhas, of what is the actual phenomenon of ras. So you got a little enjoyment. So the purpose of the activity was to give the enjoyment first and then to later dedicate it to seva. And at the end we dedicated it to whom? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next time you do it, you first have the seva mood in the mind and then you perform the activity. Alright? So why is the activity performed first? Because first we get a taste of, it's not that preemptively we dedicated today, we dedicated it after the activity. Because first the experience and then we know what we have to dedicate. So the first I will say you dedicate and you say what to dedicate. अभी तो experience ही नहीं हुआ, हाँ? So इसलिए first the experience, then later I said dedicate the experience to whom? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now you have one idea of how it is, small idea of how it is. Now next time you know in advance what you have to dedicate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then you can do ऐसा, ठीक है? But first time when we are doing it, that time I have to first give a little experience, then the experience we know what has to be dedicated to Mahaprabhu. That's why it was done in the reverse order. Next time you do it in the usual order. First dedicate to Mahaprabhu, then do your smaran, then again dedicate to Mahaprabhu. No problem. Okay? So that is how. Okay. Acha. I had asked Prabhuji, could you find the reference? Yes, no, maybe.
There is no direct reference by Srila.
Oh, okay, no problem. No problem. I understand perfectly.
You know that.
I know. I know. There is no direct reference for the quote that 99% of your advancement depends on your chanting. And there are many such things which are floating around. I would always request the devotees that they should check the sources of any of these things which are said. I'll break out of the presentation and I will show a quote from Srila Prabhupada. This is from his correspondence, and this is from his letters, correspondence. Here is in Omkar. So Prabhu, kindly read this particular paragraph to Omkar Dasi.
Okay, sure. Please accept my blessings. I have seen your letter dated August 17, 1975 and have noted the contents. I never said there should be no more marriage. By all means, legally, you can get married. How can I object? They misunderstand me. Unless it is there from me in writing, there are so many things that Prabhupada said.
I see. Okay. So this is the gold standard given by what to do about Prabhupada said in the words of Prabhupada himself. So that is the style I was taught by my Gurujanas, that there should be a praman for everything. Why there should be a praman for everything? Because it is the teachings given to us by the previous acharyas. And you can note the reference. This is a letter to Omkar Dasi in 2nd September 1975. Srila Prabhupada is saying that there are so many Prabhupada says, but unless it is there from me in writing. So that is the gold standard that Srila Prabhupada accepts, and that standard should also be accepted by us as the de facto standard. And why should there be praman? Because in the Laghu Bhagavatamritam and all the literature, Shastra is the main praman that has been accepted. And Sri Rupa Goswami says, यतस्तै शास्त्रयोनित्वात्
ततस्तै शास्त्रयोनित्वात्
इति न्याय प्रदर्शनात्
इति न्याय प्रदर्शनात्
शब्दस्यैव प्रमाणत्वं
शब्दस्यैव प्रमाणत्वं
स्वीकृतं परमर्षिभिः
स्वीकृतं परमर्षिभिः
Yatas, because the Vedanta Sutra says, please repeat, Shastra Yonitvad.
शास्त्रयोनित्वात्
Because Vedanta, the third sutra says, Shastra Yonitvad, the absolute truth is born from the Yoni, the birthplace of Shastra. This is the third sutra of Vedanta Sutra. The absolute truth is born from the Yoni, the birthplace of what? Shastra. Yoni is the birthplace. Yoni is the name for birthplace. Shastra Yonitvad. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. What is first sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now inquire about Brahma. Second sutra, Janma Adyasya Yataha. Brahma is that from whom the birth etc. of this universe takes place. How do you know? Shastra Yonitvat. We understand that the universe was created, destroyed by Brahma. By which Yoni? Shastra Yoni. By the source of Shastra. So Sri Rupa Goswami says, Yatastai Shastra Yonitvat. Because even the Vedanta says that the absolute truth is understood from which praman? Shastra praman. Iti Nyaya Pradarsanat. All schools of Nyaya, all schools of Vaishnavas point to this sutra. Shabdasya eva pramanatvam. Therefore, there is only one praman. Which praman? Shabda praman. Svikritam paramarshivi. The greatest sages except one praman, and that is which praman? Shabda praman or Shastra praman. So this is what Sri Rupa Goswami says. Yesterday I had also shown Sri Krishna. Tasmat Shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavasthitau gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. How many remember that verse that we showed yesterday? Many don't remember. The devotees, please note another verse directly from Sri Krishna. Please repeat after me. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te
Shastram Pramanam Te
Karya Karya Vyavasthitau
Karya Vyavasthito
Yatva Shastra Vidhanoktam
Nyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam
Karma Kartum Iharhasi.
Karma Kartum Viharhasi.
Bhagavad Gita 16.24. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Please read Prabhu loudly.
Yeah. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
So, Karya Akarya. What should be done? What should be not done? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Therefore, what is Praman, dear devotees? Shastra is Praman. Karya Akarya. About what should be done, what should not be done. So this is very clearly understood. But even with quotes from Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada himself says it should be verified from Shastra. So wonderful. Dear devotees, anybody else wants to ask anything? Yes, Prabhuji.
So, Prabhu, when we hear something from someone or from somewhere, and we're not sure whether it's, backed by Shastra or not, how do we mere mortals who only get Hari Parsha Prabhu once a year? How do we verify and check that?
No, I think many pracharaks, many preachers who come quote Shastra. They often quote Shastra. It's not one person who quotes. Many preachers quote Shastra. But if there is some claim for which Praman is not given, my suggestion is privately we should ask.
No, but what I mean is, say if I hear something from someone, I want to check myself. How do we, as practically,
the best
what
way.
source do we use?
There is not one source. We should ourselves be versed in the Shastra so that we can understand where it has come from. Or either the person who is speaking it, we can privately ask them. So that should be done, because privately asking a person for sources is very good. So that I think, or either we should know what is there in the Shastra. There are only two ways. There is no third way. Or we can ask somebody who is learned. Perhaps they can find what somebody else said, but that is not a good thing to do. Somebody else makes the claim and the third person has to find for us. Either we ask them personally directly or we try to find ourselves. So like that we can try to do. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Vrinda Mataji.
Prabhuji, you very briefly in one sentence mentioned about Bhakti, how she showers Bhakti on 24 days. She is independent of Krishna.
She is a potency of Sri Krishna, yet she is allowed to act independent.
So how she decides about the devotee's qualification and she should shower Bhakti?
How does Bhakti Devi decide who is qualified, who is not qualified? Bhakti Devi gives the agency to the devotees who are propagating her. I hope you are able to understand. So the devotees who are propagating Bhakti Devi, they may be Kanishta Adhikari, they may be Madhyam Adhikari, they may be Uttam Adhikari. If the devotee propagating Bhakti is Kanishta Adhikari, and that Kanishta Adhikari becomes favorable to another person, that another person will be able to achieve that level of Adhikar. If Bhakti Devi manifests in a Madhyam Adhikari, and that Madhyam Adhikari speaks to or preaches to or speaks to another person, becomes favorable to that person may be elevated till which level? Madhyam Adhikari. And when Bhakti Devi manifests in an Uttam Adhikari, then whatever person that Uttam Adhikari becomes favorable towards, that in that person Bhakti can manifest to the fullest extent. And therefore in Nectar of Instruction, 5th verse, Srila Prabhupada says something in the 5th verse that
She should associate with Insa Uttamadika.
Can you please read this highlighted?
Sure. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in the service of the Lord and strictly following all the regulated principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa beads, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttama Adhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought.
So the devotee should always try to seek association of which adhikari? Because that Uttam Adhikari's agency is the agency of giving bhakti in the highest degree of intensity. Further also I think yeah. Finally Prabhupada says, final statement.
Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master.
Diksha or Shiksha, any one of them, the disciple should be careful to accept which adhikari, at least one of the gurus should be which adhikari? Uttama adhikari. And it will be very clear, the path of progress will be very rapid. Why not Kanishta or Madhyam? So, Prabhupada says previously, please read.
A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform. And it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance.
So, a Kanishta adhikari can only take people up to which level? Kanishta. A Madhyam adhikari can take up to Madhyam adhikari. And therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept one of the gurus, Diksha or Shiksha guru, should be which adhikari? Uttama adhikari. So, that is the clear conclusion given here by Srila Prabhupada. Okay? So, that is how Bhakti Devi is independent. Because the devotees who are carrying her agency are independent. The Uttam Adhikari may decide to give favor to somebody who is not at all qualified. Not at all qualified. And he may not decide to give mercy to somebody who is very qualified. So, it is dependent on the agency of the devotees. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he approached Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj for the first time. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji said, "Arey Pandit ji, you have come. You know, you are Jyotish Siddhant Saraswati, and who am I? You know, I can't sign my name. You have come to me. Why have you come to me? You can't get anything from me." He sent him away for the first time. I hope you are able to understand. Then sent him away from the second time. Of course, we treat it as Leela, but even in Leela, he showed that only when the Uttam Adhikari is pleased. Third time, when he was pleased with the persistent approach, then he gave him Diksha and blessed him with the name Shri Varshabhanevi Devi Dahita Das. That is the okay. Wonderful. Yes.
Even though somebody accepts spiritual master as Uttama Adhikari, again it needs a careful reach and careful training by personally, right?
Of course.
As you always say.
Of course, personal training is must. Personal guidance is must. The entire path is the path of personal guidance.
But they themselves design a system because there are so many people, right?
See, systems are designed to facilitate the mass of congregation. That is the original purpose of any system. All systems are good and no system is designed with any malice in mind. I hope you are able to. All systems are designed to give benefit to the people. End result should be achieved in any system. What is the end result? End result is that people should be able to get personal association of advanced devotees. That is what it is. I hope you are able to understand. Because my aim here is not to compare any system. Personally, if you go to the traditional system, people were able to get association of advanced devotees. So now we are a mass movement, there are thousands of devotees, so there is a necessity of creating systems. But all systems are supposed to be designed in order to facilitate this association with advanced devotees. Why? Because unless there is personal association with advanced devotees, genuine bhakti cannot arise in the heart of any particular devotee. It cannot arise by reading books. It cannot arise by one's own effort. The birthplace of bhakti is sadhu sangha. It is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I will Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula.
Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula.
Jai Sadhu Sangha.
Maya Sadhu Sangha.
Krishna Prema Janmete Ho.
Krishna Prema Janmete Ho.
Mukhya Anga.
Una Mukhya Anga.
Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula. The root of birth of genuine Krishna Bhakti is given in the next word. Haya Sadhu Sangha. Direct association of Sadhu. Krishna Prema Janme. Even if you achieve Krishna Prem, still Teho Puna Mukhya Anga. Still it is the main limb of Bhakti. Please read the translation, Sundarana Prabhu.
Yes. The root cause of devotion service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with devotees is still most essential.
Yeah. I would also like to point out some teachings from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Writings of previous acharyas, there is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and there is Bhakti Siddhanta Amrita, Amrita
Vakya or something.
something like that. So, yeah. Is it essential to associate and serve the spiritual master directly? A question was directly posed to him. Here is the answer by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada himself, and this can mean Shiksha or Diksha Guru under any system, because all systems, the original intention is to do good to the devotees. Please read the answer.
We should certainly communicate directly with the spiritual master. Those who do not wish to serve and associate with their spiritual master personally are bound to be cheated. Direct communication with Guru is the first step on the path of divine service.
So does this mean only Diksha Guru? No. We should serve the manifestations of Guru in every entity. If we cannot serve the Guru, we cannot serve anyone. So this is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada himself said about direct association of the Guru. Now this can be Diksha Guru, this can be which Guru? Diksha Guru. So any system that is made, all systems are worthy of respect. And all systems are made for the sake of facilitating one thing. And what is that? Direct association with the advanced Vaishnavas. I hope you are able to understand. If in any particular system this is not becoming possible for some reason, then we should approach the higher authorities and genuinely tell them that we are not able to associate with advanced devotees even though we are part of a particular system. And then it is the duty of the higher authorities to think about how to get this problem resolved. Because without direct association, there is no question of advancement. That is very clear. There is, on this point, there will be no compromise by any of the previous acharyas. Now, we can't reduce our system to impersonalism. Alright, we can't reduce our system to impersonalism where direct association of the Guru is not there. So either direct association of Diksha Guru or direct association of at least one Shiksha Guru. And we will notice the difference immediately as soon as we get direct association. All the doubts in the heart are quickly resolved. Our personal queries are resolved. Because when we don't have direct association, we can perform Upanyasam. What is Upanyasam? General lecture. But when we have direct association, we can perform Kalakshepam. What is Kalakshepam? Personal guidance. And then we can get our doubts resolved, and then this is how genuine progress is made. So on that point, the previous acharyas have not compromised at all. There is zero compromise from the previous acharyas. So in that regard also, I have to represent them faithfully. Here I have represented him faithfully in his own words. So this is what can be done. Okay, I hope you are convinced.
Yes.
At least you are convinced.
Oh no, I was already.
Okay, you are already convinced. Okay, you are already
One
convinced.
small.
Okay, we'll come to it. Yeah.
Sometimes, as you clearly mentioned, there are many speakers in our system. They speak so many stories, and sometimes they are not present in Shastra. And there are so many stories of Vrindavan. I don't know from where they come and what all they speak. Sometimes they say it's a local story, some
Local story.
no, not local.
Okay.
Not local. Some Brajvasi shared some stories, some pastime. Not documented in the scriptures and literature. Again, should we reject altogether or just accept it?
Should we reject all the pastimes we heard, or should we accept?
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
Some people, some Babaji, some Mahatma have from their legends some pastime and wrote a book. I don't know, should we accept? Should we not accept? Or should we just hear this one?
Wonderful question. But see, some pastimes are given without mentioning a source. And what should be done with regards to such a pastime? Such pastimes may be given even by great acharyas sometimes. I hope you are able to understand. Such pastimes may be given even by great acharyas. I will show you a particular pastime and you please tell me the source if you have seen any source. Okay. This pastime occurs in the book Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. Prabhuji, Sundaran Prabhu, please read the question. Is Krishna attractive to rascals? Prabhupada's answer.
Yeah. Oh yes, he was the greatest rascal also.
How is that?
Laughing. Because he was always teasing the gopis.
Teasing?
Yes, sometimes when Radharani would go out, Krishna would attack her. And when she would fall down, Krishna, don't torture me in that way. They would fall down. And Krishna would take the opportunity and kiss her. He laughs. So Radharani was very pleased. But superficially, Krishna was the greatest rascal.
Direct gali. because there is the system of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. This is a Gaudiya Vaishnava devotees. A person who is arasik, who is dry at heart, will never be able to appreciate this. The system is meant for rasikas. Pibat bhagavatam rasam alayam muhuraho rasika. A dry-hearted person will not be able to understand and relish this. They will always look at this with suspicion. I hope you are able to understand. So please read ahead.
So, unless rascaldom is in Krishna, how could rascaldom be existent in the world?
Acha, source of pastime.
Prabhupada.
Arey wah. Guru Vakya. I say, if we distinguish, Guru said, so we accept. And somebody, if Guru did not, somebody else said, then we don't accept. So we have to understand one thing in this regard. And when the sources of pastimes are not available, what to do in that particular case? In the Tattva Sandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami has given 10 pramanas. Okay? How many pramanas? 10 pramanas. I am pulling out Tattva Sandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami. And see here. One of the praman is called Aitihya. What is it called? Aitihya. Sri Jiva Goswami says, and we can read the words of Sri Jiva Goswami. Please repeat after me. Agyata, Vaktri, Kritagata, Paramparya, Prasiddham, Aitihyam. Agyata Vaktri. Iska speaker is unknown. I hope you are able to. The speaker is unknown. Krita Agata, it is come from an unknown source. Paramparya Prasiddham, it is popular in some parampara. That praman is known as which praman? Aitihya, one of the 10 pramanas of the Vaishnavas. Acha. So, pastimes which are coming from Aitihya. Aitihya comes from the term Itiha. It comes from what? Itiha. Iti Iha, Aisa Tha. Iti Iha, like that it was. So, it is called Aitihya. So somebody may say it is hearsay. What is it? Hearsay. It is hearsay, but not hearsay. It is aitihya. It may be bona fide. Maybe the shastra is lost, but the elders have carried the tradition. So one such praman is called as which praman? Aitihya. But still the doubt doesn't go away whether it is bona fide or not. Then you need to understand rasa shastra and tattva. And if the pastime is fitting in the framework of tattva and rasa, then you can accept the pastime as a bona fide pastime because it satisfies tattva vichar, it also satisfies rasa vichar. I hope you are able to understand. For example, somebody gives a tattva and somebody gives a pastime in which say Krishna was in material pain and Krishna suffered so much. So you know it is against tattva. Why? Because can Bhagwan be in material pain? No. Okay. Krishna cursed his associate to take 3 births. Can Krishna's associates ever appear in the material world? No. So these pastimes, although they may be aitihya, but because they are against which vichar? Tattva vichar. Therefore, they are not quoted so much by the devotees. And then there are some pastimes which are against rasa vichar. Which vichar? Rasa vichar. For example, there are some pastimes Sri Rupa Goswami says, in childhood Krishna is showing youth. I hope you are able, huh? Shaishavepi Taronyam. Sri Rupa Goswami says, I will point it out. Shaishavepi Taronyam. See here, adolescence manifested even in childhood. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami will say, these pastimes neither nourish Vatsalya properly, these pastimes neither nourish Madhurya properly. You go to a childhood pastime expecting which rasa? Vatsalya. And the pastime is loaded with which rasa? Madhurya. तो वो थोड़ा रस भंग हो जाता है. It is that rasas don't, it doesn't carry so much ras. So such pastimes are usually not quoted by the previous acharyas. Such pastimes should be avoided. So once one understands tattva vichar and rasa vichar, then one can understand which of the aitiya is worth accepting, which of the aitiya is not worth accepting. Now is it clear?
Can you give an example?
Of what?
There is this one pastime of Ashwatthama and Radharani. Many people quote that. Again, I don't know. Rasa and Tattva Vichar, how do we treat that? And there is no reference to Rasa.
I don't know which pastime you are quoting. But if you tell me the book later, personally, I will tell you. Okay? In general, we should understand tattva vichar, we should understand rasa vichar. Both vichar, then we will be able. Without doing this, there will be constant doubt whether this pastime is bona fide or not. And there will be no way out. This is the only way of coming out of that situation, which I have told you. Okay? So, okay. We'll go there and we'll come to. Yes, Prabhuji.
Different phases of
Smaran.
thank you for this.
Thank you.
Deliverance of this wonderful pastimes. I was just thinking the Smaran levels that you are discussing. It could be at any level. Can you please try to correlate them with those phases? Someone who is very deep into Archa Vigraha, worshipping Archa Vigraha, and someone who is very deep into any service related to Krishna consciousness, preaching, so that we understand and relate the respective services, whoever is working, will be able to relate how it, like for example, someone who is very deep into reading the Prabhupada books, and they also fit into the categories and levels you said. Can you please throw some comments?
I don't need to do. Prabhupada himself has done. He has given the 5 levels in Nectar of Instruction 8th verse. I will show you directly. In Nectar of Instruction 8th verse, Prabhupada himself has said, this is what happens. Here is in the purport Prabhupada says, and I think it's at the end. Here it is. Please read from here, Sundaran Prabhupada, loudly.
Yeah. When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains the stage of Smaranavastha, the stage of remembering.
So gradually, when you do Shravanam, Kirtanam properly, gradually you will attain which stage? Smaran. Now this Smaran will start along with all your other services, whether you are doing DT worship, whether you are doing book distribution, it will gradually start with all the other services. But gradually Smaran is going to take over. I hope you are able to understand. It is going to take over because it is the crux of all sadhana bhakti. Please read ahead, Prabhu.
Sure. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance and trance are the 5 items of progressive Krishna Smarana.
English translation of the same Sanskrit terms. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance
and trance.
Recollection was Smarana and absorption was Dharana. Meditation is Dhyan. Constant remembrance is Dhruvanusmriti and trance is what? Samadhi. These are 5 items. Where did Srila Prabhupada get this from? Originally, what is the source? Sri Jiva Goswami. Sri Jiva Goswami as specified in the Bhakti Sandarbha. So this is what? This is the English translation of those 5. Then Prabhupada starts explaining all of them gradually. He first explains what is level 1. Please read.
At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals.
Okay, at first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted. This is level 1. Level 1, what is the Sanskrit name, dear devotees? Smarana. Okay, then?
But later, remembrance proceeds uninterrupted.
This is level 2. What is the name of level 2, dear devotees? Dharana. Okay.
When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and is called meditation.
This is which level? Dhyan.
Dhyan.
Okay.
When meditation expands and becomes constant, it is called anusmriti.
Now he is directly using the Sanskrit term. Dhruva Anu Smriti. Level 4. Okay.
By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters the stage of samadhi or spiritual trance.
Now this is directly corresponding with what Sri Jiva Goswami said. Okay. And please read ahead.
After smarana dasa or samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand his original constitution position. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. That is called sampatti dasa, the perfection of life.
So in all your services, it will gradually start from Smaran and it will gradually intensify. If you have the voluntary inclination, it will intensify, because on level 2 and 3 you have to put the effort. Level 4 it becomes spontaneous, and then it will take over all the other sevas. That is when you will feel the desire to sit in one place and do your Smaran. Level 5 is Samadhi. Then you have Sampatti Dasha. Bhagavan personally manifests and reveals to you your eternal form in the spiritual world. End of story. You are perfected. Okay? That is how it works. It has to go through Smaran.
Thank you. And same on, is it, I mean, I was also trying to do some monkey logic. Unmukha, just having unmukha, even if I don't do service, I will say some vague reason. I have desire to do, but I will come up with some vague reason myself. It comes in my mind. And will I still be considered?
What is Unmukha? Unmukha is in your heart, you are genuinely inclined. That is Unmukha, na? Parangmukha is you are disinclined in the heart. That is Parangmukha. And opposite of Parangmukha is Unmukha. Unmukha is in your heart, you are genuinely inclined. If you are in your heart, you are genuinely inclined, obviously it will show outside. But if in your heart you are Parangmukha, you are not genuinely inclined, then it will show as a duplicity outside. I hope you are able to understand.
So I'm trying to say in terms of, let's say I am thinking of doing 10 things, but I am able to do only one thing. So it is still considered as unmukha?
Of course, yes. But that one thing to be done genuinely. Did you attend yesterday's talk?
Yes.
So that was there. Sa bhaktir eka mukhya anga ashrita. You can do either one main limb of bhakti, or you can do multiple limbs of bhakti. But swavasana anusarena nishthatah. Do with a proper spirit of seva. That is. Alright. Prabhu.
So I wanted to ask if we hear katha or leela, that we might not be sure whether it's authentic or not, but it helps us increase our remembrance of Krishna or our prema for Krishna. Is that acceptable?
If it is in line with Tattva Vichar and Rasa Vichar, then there is absolutely no issue with that. If we are not sure about Tattva or Rasa, but it is helping us remember Krishna, still it may be accepted, but as soon as possible one should get it clarified whether the pastime is according to Tattva or Rasa Vichar. Yes, sir. There is, if there is immediate benefit, I am being very liberal, I may still say okay, although many acharyas will not say okay. But better to get the Tattva Vichar and Rasa Vichar clear in this regard. Because without that, it is better not to meditate on any particular pastime which is not in line with Tattva and Rasa Vichar. Yes, sir. Yes, Mataji.
Thanks so much for the session. A basic question, Parshad, when we do japa, kirtan, so I'm sure that there are other limbs also involved. For example, when we do japa, we do kirtan as well as we do shravan. So, which ones are included in japa, kirtan, like smaran will also come. So what should be included and what can
In japa is soft utterance of mantra. It's called japa. Usually japa should be done by itself. You should hear the voice, and if there is some spontaneity, smaran will automatically come. Japa cannot mix with kirtan because your tongue can either chant softly or it can chant loudly. So japa doesn't mix with kirtan. Japa and kirtan are two separate limbs. Japa can mix with smaran. When japa mixes with kirtan, you start chanting loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Such japa which is performed audibly, Sri Sanatana Goswami says is Vachik japa. Vachik japa is a mixture of japa and kirtan. Sri Sanatana Goswami says in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Vachik japa is a mixture of japa plus kirtan. Manasik japa is a mixture of japa plus smaran. Upamshu japa, soft japa, is japa by itself without any mixture of smaran or kirtan. So there is mixture, but then it changes the category of japa. That japa either becomes vachik, upamshu or manasik. Best japa is upamshu, where you are performing japa and that japa is spontaneously, it is soft, you can only hear, and it is giving rise to spontaneous thoughts in the mind about Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada also said in the correspondence, in a letter, he said something to a devotee about chanting and remembering. And yeah, Prabhu, can you read this?
Sure. Regarding your first question, is it offensive to think of Krishna's pastimes while chanting? I think you should know that is not offensive, but rather it is required. One must try for the point when he simply hears Krishna and immediately all of Krishna, his pastimes, his form, his quality are in his thoughts. So to always be immersed in thoughts of Krishna, this is our process. When we are full in Krishna, then where there can be any chance for Maya in us? So this is our duty to remember Krishna's pastimes.
So this sentence should be highlighted and repeated to all the devotees in the society. Please read again.
So this is our duty to remember Krishna's pastimes.
This is the purpose for which Krishna book was written. So this is the purpose for which the Krishna book was written. It is the duty of all the devotees to remember Krishna's pastimes. And then Prabhupada gives a very important statement. Please hear this carefully.
One who cannot remember Krishna, let him always hear Hare Krishna.
So this chanting and hearing is for that person who cannot remember Krishna.
Wow.
I hope you are able to understand that, because people are saying just chant and hear. But that is for somebody who cannot perform which process? Smaran. If you can perform smaran, then you must perform smaran. Okay, please read ahead.
One who cannot remember Krishna, let him always hear Hare Krishna. And then when he has perfected this art, then always he will remember Krishna, his activities, his qualities, etc.
Alright, so this letter is very important. It gives the mindset of Srila Prabhupada about japa and smaran. And there is no greater praman about how Srila Prabhupada wanted our japa to be, rather than his own words as given in his letters and writings. This is a letter written on 4th of December 1968, in which Srila Prabhupada is answering whether one can perform smaran along with japa. And this is a very conclusive evidence that smaran should be performed along with japa. But for that, first we should do shravan. I hope you are able to understand. First we should do what? Shravan. By shravan we will develop the memories, reminiscence of Sri Krishna. And while japa, they will come back to us. And this is what Srila Prabhupada is expecting from us. And one who cannot do smaran because he has not done what? Shravan. Let him hear the syllables. Alright, let him hear the syllables. So new person should hear the syllables. But gradually, after a few years, he should be able to remember the guna, rupa, lila of Bhagwan as soon as they chant japa. This should not be forced. This should not be artificial. It should happen only when gradually Shravan has developed to such a point that Prabhupada says one should try for the point. Can you see here? One must try for the point when he simply hears the name Krishna, and immediately, not forcibly, immediately all of Krishna, his pastimes, forms, qualities are in his thoughts. So dear devotees, often there is a lot of force for japa, and the tendency can also enter into smaran. So we should not force smaran. Smaran should happen very organically, gradually, naturally. Let there not be any force for smaran. Let it happen very organically. Like I told you, when a child is switched from mother's milk to which milk? Cow's milk. Thoda one spoon. Shuruat mein. Let it increase naturally, organically. Because you have all the time in the world to develop this gradually. You can start from 1 round and go all the way up to how many rounds? 16 rounds. When you are chanting in ecstasy in 16 rounds, your mind will yourself say, I am not happy with 16 rounds. I am not happy with how many rounds? 16 rounds. So that is the actual motivation for Smaran. Or there may be some who may chant 16 rounds and they may say, I want to independently perform Smaran. No problem. I hope you are able to understand. As long as you fulfill the vow to your Guru, Svavasana Anusarena. You do according to Svavasana. Svavasana is your own desire in Bhakti. Sri Rupa Goswami has made it very, very liberal on the path. There is no forcing on the path yet. Okay? I hope that answers your query. Yes. Okay. One more question and then we will pause for today.
Oh,
Question answered already?
that previous one was just answered. I was going to ask about immediately, but previously I was wanting to ask clarification on the passage of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Can I pull out the
Yeah.
passage? Okay, you want me to pull out the passage where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is speaking about association with the Guru? Okay.
Amritvani.
Amritvani.
Yes.
So, in Amrit. Here it is.
So I'm just trying to understand it more. So clearly it says we should communicate directly with the spiritual master, and then the second paragraph it's we should serve the manifestations of Guru in every entity. So this is non-direct.
This is?
Like non-directly, or like he's saying to do both, like
Have
indirectly.
to do both. Because you get general instructions from everybody. And anybody who can help you in any small way also, they are Prabhu. And if they told you one nice thing, they are also in one way Guru. Like the Avdut Brahman made 24 Gurus in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the spirit of 24 Gurus is manifest here. But that 24 Gurus is not a replacement for Bhajan Guru. A Bhajan Guru is somebody with whom you are in personal association. They guide you personally. For example, I'll give you a very, very simple example of this. Usually, if I ask you the question, can I chant less than 16 rounds? What would be your answer? No?
Yes.
I have a lot of seva. I am initiated. I have a lot of seva. Can I chant less than 16 rounds?
Your Guru.
But I don't have communication with Guru. That the whole problem is this.
It depends which institution. Yeah.
Nahin, but general answer is what? Yes or no? No. That is the general answer. Now see how the Guru is unconventional. Because a particular disciple of Srila Prabhupada wrote a correspondence to Srila Prabhupada saying, I have a lot of seva on the farm. I can't chant my 16 rounds. What should I do? Srila Prabhupada's reply to him is recorded. Yeah. I'll find out this particular instruction that Srila Prabhupada gave. It was Srila Prabhupada personally instructed one disciple that you are working on the farm, you may have many sevas on the farm, you may not be able to chant your 16 rounds. So what should you do? Here it is. Here is Srila Prabhupada's unconventional guidance on the Prabhupada's letter. You please read, Gaurav Prabhu.
As you are an important worker there, and you have so many important duties, especially to take care of the cows, it may not be possible for you to stop your work for chanting 16 rounds. This is no great loss, and you should not feel badly about it.
Acha. See here. The Acharya who made the rules, he can break the rules. Can you imagine getting such an answer without personal guidance from the spiritual master? That is where personal guidance from the Guru is most important. Is most important. Sometimes the seva is decided by the Guru. You do this. And genuinely for him it was not possible. He was the leader of the farm community. It was not possible for him to stop his seva and chant 16 rounds. He wrote a letter to Prabhupada out of distress that I can't chant my 16 rounds. And Srila Prabhupada wrote back to him. Once again, please read from the beginning.
As you are an important worker there, and you have so many important duties, especially to take care of the cows, it may not be possible for you to stop your work for chanting 16 rounds. This is no great loss, and you should not feel badly about it. Krishna sees your sincerity in Krishna consciousness, and he will be very kind upon you for this.
So look at the attitude of the Guru. The Guru could have pushed him in a military regime and said, no, without 16 you shouldn't even think of anything else. But the Guru is unconventional guide. Guru doesn't give the convention always. Therefore the Guru is known as which teacher? Unconventional teacher. Sometimes he knows when to break the rules. And this is one instance of that. And there Prabhupada says Krishna will see your sincerity and he will be very kind upon you for this. But ahead he says,
but as much as possible, you should try to fulfill the goal of 16 rounds daily. If you must fall short of this because you have so much service to render to Krishna, do not be disturbed by this. But you should not fall too much short of this goal. That will not be good. Similarly, you must read Bhagavad Gita at least a few verses every day and think about them throughout the day.
Smaran, throughout the Smaran you should do. If you are not able to do japa, at least do Smaran of some verses of Gita every day. So I hope you are able to understand. This is why personal guidance is most needed, and therefore Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that those who don't have personal guidance, sometimes they may get cheated, because they will get the conventional answer. Which answer will they get? Conventional answer. But you don't take a guru for giving you the convention. Conventions are already popular in the society. I hope you take a guru because they can give you which sort of guidance? Unconventional guidance. Let's say you go to a person and you say, Prabhu, I am not able to do this seva. No, why can't you do it? It's the convention, you must do. So then you may say, why did I come to you? I knew the convention already. Why did I come to you? I knew that if I had to come to you to know the convention, I didn't need to come to you. I know the convention better than you. ऐसा नहीं हाँ? So you need the guru because the guru gives some guidance which is not within the conventions, and that is known as unconventional guidance. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to say that the genuine guru is always an unconventional guide. In the article on Putana, he said that the genuine guru is always an unconventional guide, and he stands in the face of thousands of convention givers. I hope you are able to understand. He stands in the face of thousands of convention givers and says that this is the standard for you. Now this letter is only for one individual. Can this be made the convention? No. It cannot be made the convention. This is only for that one individual. This I have to give a disclaimer. So people will say, I cannot. For everybody in the world the convention applies, except for one who has personal association of the Guru. Except for one who has personal association of the Guru. For everybody in the world, Trinadapi Sunichena means be humbler than a blade of grass. Except for Hanuman, who has the personal association of Bhagavan Ram. For him, Trinadapi Sunichena means you burn the Lanka to the ground. That is what is the meaning of Trinadapi Sunichena. For those who have personal association, the Guru gives the unconventional guidance. Dear devotees, which guidance would you like to have? Conventional or unconventional? Unconventional. Everybody needs that special connection with Guru. Everybody should have that special connection with Guru. And it should be that special connection with the Guru which will sustain us, especially after the disappearance of Guru. That connection with the Guru will sustain us. Please think of the time when Guru will be physically absent. Then you should not have to search for another Guru. That's it. That unconventional guidance will sustain us even after the disappearance of the Guru. So this is why it is very much required. What Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said is very, very important. And there should be no compromises on the basis of this. All systems should facilitate unconventional guidance by the Guru. And all systems are glorious and worthy of being propagated. And we are not for or against any particular system, but we love the systems in which unconventional guidance and personal association is facilitated. This should be the aim of all systems in devotee society. That is what I would like to say. Okay? So I will pause my speech here. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So this is reference you can note down. I couldn't find this, but I will show you in the Veda base. I will because I could not get the keywords.
29 July 1916.
Here it is. Can you see this letter to Paramananda? As you are an important worker there and you have so many important duties, it may not be possible for your work to stop. This is there in the letters folio. Okay. All references given. And I hope everybody is satisfied.
Yes.
Jai Ho.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.